Hi, everyone. Welcome to Chair Yoga. Today, we are going to do some of the basics. I was kind of reviewing some of my previous classes and notes I've taken, and I thought I'm going to kind of borrow from some of the practices and techniques and various postures that I used for a long time and kind of moved away from them for some reason. And I think I'm going to go back to some of that. I'm sure they'll be familiar to many of you. So let's begin. Let's just begin by doing our transitional time now. So I want you to just find your way into your seat in a more mindful way. So bring yourself maybe forward on the chair a bit so you feel like you've got a lot of support for your pelvis, but yet you're not relying on the backrest for support of your back. And instead, you're going to rely on your core strength as you begin to bring your feet to the floor in a mindful way, maybe bringing your hands into your thighs and close to your knees so you can give a little pressure with your hands there to feel your legs better. I recommend you have your eyes closed through this process so that you can focus the experience from the inside out. And begin right away with this idea of intention, that this whole transitional time could be your bringing yourself into this inquiry. What do I need today? What do I need today? What brought me to yoga? Or what if what has been inspiring me? And how can I take that inspiration into my practice so that it becomes embodied? This idea of inspiration can be deep within you, not just a fleeting experience, a fleeting mind, a thought process that was nice and pleasant, all good, but that you want to take that, capture it, if you will, and bring that inspiration into the very depth of you. So use this idea of intention, and even if it applies, inspiration to this transitional time with me. Feel your toes, move your toes. Feel the balls of the feet, both sides. Feel your heels. And just stay there with just for a few breaths here, feeling the surface of your feet and your toes. And move that awareness into your feet and ankles. So maybe you have this glimpse of the top of your feet, how that feels, and wrap around your ankles with your awareness. And then let's move back to the heel, the Achilles part of your heel, that tendon that is known as the Achilles heel. See if you can just have a mindfulness about it. Even if you can't really feel it, you're aware of it. Let's move into the calves of the legs. Maybe pressing into the heel of your foot will give you more awareness, more felt experience of the calves. Let's come into the knees. Now, if you are one who deals with some discomfort in your knees from time to time, I want you to bring loving awareness to your knees. That you're going to encourage movement where movement is available. You're aware and recognizing that movement through the knees will create more synovial fluid. That's a big buffer for that knee joint to have that fluid, so that you're just mindfully, lovingly aware of your knees for your practice today. We're into the thighs. Feel your thighs from where your hands are resting. And then feel the underside of your thighs as well. So you feel the musculature, top and bottom. Let's slow down now and just take a few breaths into the legs. You know, how we often practice with bringing our awareness of breath, you know, from two specific points of the body, and we track point to point. Let's do that. Soles of the feet is where we start the breath. It ends in the pelvis. Exhale it right back down to the soles of the feet. So breathe through your legs. And this is about imagination and intention. So sure, you can feel your lungs moving, you understand that, but that this intention of awareness of our legs through our breath is very real. Now stay with the pelvis so that you just feel your right to left balance through the bones of the pelvis, you know, that bony prominence that yoga calls the sit bones. So right to left balance of the pelvis. Now find the front to back balance. It might require, and I'm going to encourage you to sort of rock forward and back on the sit bones, slow enough that you can feel the shift. You can feel what forward feels like. There's a little more reference to the pubic bone in the pelvis, and then back, a little more reference to the tailbone. But there's a sweet spot right in the middle. See if you can locate that. And feel that as a strong base, a strong, stable base for your whole practice today. This keen awareness of balance in the pelvis. Let's bring our awareness into the belly. I want you to just engage it enough. You'll know what that is. Just engage it enough that you can feel your belly wall. I'm talking about the front right now, that front belly wall. And notice how that feels in your low back. When you engage the belly wall, that abdominal structure, you can feel how it stabilizes the low back. And it's just a reminder of the way we were so beautifully and perfectly designed. Stabilizing the low back comes from the belly wall. Now, start to feel how your rib cage can expand with your breath. So you might have to fire up that breath again so it feels bigger inside your chest cavity. So it's not just vertical in the breath, it's not just vertical, it's expansive. So it's going wide as well as up and down. There's little muscles in between each of the ribs called the intercostal. I almost said intercoastal. You can tell where I'm at here in Florida. Intercostal. Little tiny muscles that we can expand. We can bring some oxygen, blood supply into those muscles. Feel the softening now of your throat and the mouth. Soften the facial muscles and feel the crown of your head lifting toward the ceiling, ever so slightly, but very real. And let's go back to that point-to-point reference. We're going to start in the pelvis, wherever it feels right for you to access awareness in the center of your pelvis. Bring that breath up to the crown of the head. Hold it. Exhale it back down into the pelvis. So let's put like a little box around our breath. It's got sides to it. It's not just up and down, but it's got sides to it. So let's bring that breath up to the crown of the head. Hold it. There's the side. And exhale down through the length of your spine. Hold it. There's the other side. Let's do it. Inhale up. Hold it. Exhale down. Hold it. A little variation of the box breathing, where we count out a series, to squared out, where the pause is as long as the length of the breath. It's a little variation. We're just putting sides to this long vertical experience of breath. It also has a top and a bottom with the pause. See if you can do all this while you're breathing through your nose. See if all of that can happen with nostril breathing. And if it's not comfortable, that is not the way you breathe, or you have a plugged up nose and you're just, it's just not going to happen. Just disregard that. It's not for everybody. But if you can, let's access this as a nostril breathing technique. One more breath. There's a top and a bottom to the breath. It's a little pause. Now, let your breath be as your breath is. Keep your eyes closed and flip your hands so your palms are open. Bring your fingers together. Create the mitten hands. Just that structure of bringing your fingers together. The thumbs extend away from that. And open your palms to receive. It's the gesture of receptivity. What do you want to receive today? And then let's join a prayer that I often use to prepare for class. May what needs to be said is said. What needs to be heard is heard. What needs to be released is released. And what needs to be embraced is embraced today. Now let's open the eyes, get used to the light around us. I'll join you in our chair for our movement now. Let's take that block and put it between your thighs. Squeeze that a bit so that you can feel the engagement of your inner thigh muscles. You might have noticed I started to refer to that, the adductor muscles. Those inner thighs are adductor muscles. And I want you to start to know, and realize, and then maybe employ that action of squeezing, whether the block is there or not. That action of squeezing is also part of the structure involved of strengthening the perineum. So when we squeeze that block, you are into the base of your pelvis, that floor of the pelvis. So just be mindful of that so you can use it, engage it. It's such a stabilizing factor, not only in our movements, it definitely is for the postures of yoga, but just in the general health and care of your body, and to keep that tone in your pelvic floor. So let's begin. Inhale with me. Palms will come together up and overhead. Take a big breath in and then exhale as you bow into your heart. Inhale back up. Exhale into the T shape. And now let's spread our fingers apart. No more mitten hand, but just kind of a starfish, if you will. Let the fingers spread apart. Rotate your arms so much so that your thumbs pointing straight back, palms feel flat, like you're, offering up a serving tray here. Take a moment now to turn your head. And when you do it, I want you to move quite a bit. Don't be robotic about this at all. So you're looking from side to side, because the whole reason we're doing that is so we can figure out what kind of flexibility we have in our neck. What's the range of movement available in our neck, and certainly it has that relates to our shoulders. Be sure you're breathing while you're doing it. You need some mindful breath here, because you won't really be able to take in the information without benefit of your good breath awareness. Maybe elongate your exhale in that process. Now squeeze the block, pull in the belly, feel your feet to the floor, because we're going to let our Whole body, help us to keep our arms extended, because we're going to move the head around a bit. We're breathing in and breathing out, and our arms are going to get tired, but we're going to use the whole body to give us support and stability for those extended arms. Borrow from the strength of your legs. Excellent. Let's come back to center now. Inhale, palms together overhead. No bend in the elbow. Lightly touch your palms together and see if you can just hold that. Now we're, again, borrowing from the strength of our legs so that we can lift up. We're trying to pull the shoulder carriage up and away from the hips. So you feel lots of space in your side body, as well as through the front body, the belly area. Yeah, you can feel it in your back. Smooth out your breath. No short breaths here. Let's get deep. On your next exhale, let's create that W where you bring your elbows down and pull back. So you want your hands to pull back and your elbows stay where they were. So there's a back bend for you. Keeping your head neutral is one way to do it, or you could lift your face up a little bit. So that's about what your neck needs, what your neck is agreeable to. And you know what the cue I offer up inside internally is chest, chest, chest. You know, lift your chest so that your head has got the support it needs. Let's get back to those longer breaths. Back up. Let's create the Y shape now. Let's let the shoulder blades slide down the back. Now pull your arms back a little bit. There's another back bend. See if you can lift your face at all. Chest, chest, chest. Feel your feet. You borrow from the strength of your legs. Exhale completely. And when we come down, just let's flip the hands so they're leading us in our way through our shoulder movement. Just shoulders, just through the shoulder socket. There's very little movement through the spine right now. We're just moving around in that shoulder socket. Try to go up and back. There's a stop sign, and then down and back. And sure enough, there'll be another stop sign. So see if you can move through the full range of movement here. Long breaths. Might be noisy. And then meet in the top, and let's extend our arms in back into the T, but we've got our fingers lifting up. So you've got a flexion in your wrists. It's like you're trying to push against the walls on either side of the room. Push. Spread your hands open wide. You're going to feel a lot of sensation in your wrist, hands, into the forearms. A lot of sensation. Push. Keep pushing. Now find your breath. Stretch your fingers apart. A lot of sensation. Soften your neck. Let's bring all of this into the hands and wrists. So soften the neck, all of the energy, pushing those hands away from each other and toward the walls on either side of the room. One more good breath. Now, when we start to release from that, I want you to start to soften your hands. Very slowly make a soft fist. And then as we bring our arms back alongside the frame of the chair, we're going to be circling those wrists, just softly circling through. It is a big circle, though. It's a big circle. Change the direction. Find your breath. Now we can feel the charge in our arms, can't we? All of that energy we were utilizing to stretch. This brings us into a good posture for cow and cat. So let's find the vinyasa. Let the arms slide past the chair's frame. Let your chest come forward and feel the arch of your back body. Take a big inhale to feel it. Exhale now, round through the back body. Hands can either rest on your lap or let your hands just float out in front of you as you find the C-shaped curve of the cat. So this is very definitely into spinal movement. I want you to hold it for another breath where you're breathing in and out. Pull the belly button in. Let's move now. Let's do our vinyasa as we come. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Don't try to match my rhythm of movement. You're matching your breath. So keep your awareness. I really encourage you to use the screen when you just need a little direction. You're not real clear on the verbal cues I might be offering. So you're just checking to see if what you think it is what I'm doing. That's a good way to use the screen, but otherwise completely invest in the very space you're in and in what your body needs from you. Bring your loving awareness to yourself. Let's do a couple more. You just about can't do too many of these. Good. Let's come back to our mountain pose now. So your hands will face forward. Your arms are right alongside the frame of the chair. Elbows real close to your side body. Let's push our feet to the floor. Feel the mountain, the structure, stability. That's why they named it Tadasana, the mountain pose. Super strong, super reliable. Now, you can leave your hands right alongside the frame of the chair like you are, or you could bring your hands to your lap. And we're doing shoulder rolls now, so we want to get the shoulder blades to move. So be very exaggerated in your movement so the shoulder blades feel it. Up, back, and down. Up, back, and down. Find your breath. Let's come into squeezing and releasing. So you're going to kind of hunch up and squeeze and release. Squeeze those shoulders up towards your neck and ears and release. Now, I want you to pick up the pace of that. You're squeezing and releasing, and you're kind of doing it quickly. We're going to release a lot of tension through the trapezius muscle. That's a huge cape-like muscle. Affects the shoulders in the back. Squeeze and release, squeeze and release, squeeze and release, and relax. Now, I want you to do a reset. What does your body need after that? What kind of movement are you just naturally feeling needs to happen? Take some deep breaths. I think we're warmed up and ready to go. I'm going to scoot my block underneath the chair, and we're going to make our little trip around so we're facing away from center. We are moving into this side-facing position. So squeeze your legs together like a mermaid leg. So you've got your legs joined together. Lift up, kind of think mountain pose. And then without much effort, I'm going to look toward the screen just so you would be able to see me better. I'm going to start twisting without using my arms to pull me in. So that's the action I'm looking for. Turn toward the backrest. Toward your backrest. See if you can find a little rhythm of movement. How about we exhale as we twist? Inhale, we're centered. Exhale, the twisting action. Remember, you're trying to match this movement to your own breath's rhythm. That's the pace. Now, next time you twist toward the backrest, I want you to grab hold of your chair. So now you've got the arms helping you to pull into this twist. Squeeze your legs together. Now I want you to make sure you feel the verticality of your spine, the verticality of your spine, the balance of your pelvis, right to left, front to back, and twist. The back arm, so we've got ourselves twisted. I want you to reach back with thumb pointing up. I'm really holding onto the chair with my other hand. Breathe through that. And then use like a Ferris wheel movement to come all the way out of that twist, using that arm to bring you all the way around and back to neutral. Let's try the reverse of that. Lift that same arm up. I'm going to grab hold of the chair and back into that extended arm, turning my head, revolving myself into a twist. On your next exhale, use that Ferris wheel movement to let that arm bring you back to forward movement, to a forward facing. And then one more time, pull back, thumb is pointing up on that extended hand back there. No bend in the elbow if you can. Squeeze your legs together, squeeze. See if you can release your hand from the chair so both arms are extended, both thumbs up, and you're looking in the direction of the backrest. One more full breath in and out. Let's take our in breath and bring palms together up and overhead. Exhale to the heart. Inhale up and exhale, arms come down. Let's make our way to the other side. So just kind of scoot yourself, scoot, scoot, scoot. Find the mermaid leg. Balance in your pelvis. Head, neck, and spine in alignment. Now we're going to just start with the twist. We're not going to grab hold of the chair. Right now, we're just twisting toward the backrest. Let's do this vinyasa. Inhale is while we're neutral. Exhale is as we're twisting. Inhale the neutral space. Exhale the twist. Keep those legs joined together. We have a nice, strong foundational support here. Next time you're turning into the twist, we're going to hold on to it. Get your hands onto the chair's backrest so it gives you a little more ability to revolve in this direction. Now your back hand, so it'll be the other hand, the other arm from what you did the last time, is going to reach behind you, thumb pointing up, or I hope you're getting that idea of what behind you means here. Thumb up, maybe make your mitten hand, squeeze your legs together, and go back to the smoothing out of the breath. Use a Ferris wheel-like movement to come up and around to bring you back to center. Take a little pause. And let's go back where we came from into the twist with the extended arm. Breathe in, breathe out. Arm is held at shoulder height. So try to keep it elevated at shoulder height. On your next exhale, round it up around like that Ferris wheel. Come back to neutral. Last time now, inhale, we reverse that, we're back. One hand's got a hold of the chair's backrest and the other arm is fully extended. Now push into your feet. We need a lot of strength from our legs now so we can extend both arms. Both arms at shoulder height. Deepen the breath. As you unwind from this, unwind and bring palms together overhead. Exhale, bow to your heart. Inhale up and exhale, bring those arms down. Let's scooch ourselves around, but stay on one side of the chair and extend your leg out. So you kind of create a right angle. Front knee is bent and it's kind of helping you get a good source of strength and stability. It's your standing leg. It's the whole foundational support. Now, this is the one that I haven't done in a while that I wanted to reintroduce. It's simply moving. You're going to pivot on your heel and let your toes come forward and then back up. So what you're doing is moving through the femur bone. You're letting this movement of the foot is helping you to move right into the hip socket. Keep the belly engaged. Use the chair in any way that gives you support. Don't try to skimp. See if you can, just give yourself the support you need. Now, heel down, toes up, spread the toes, soften the toes, and then point them out so the toes are pointing away from their chair. Now lift them up, lift up. So it's a flexed foot, a flexed ankle, and then stretch it to a pointed toe. So a couple movements like that, flex and point, flex and point. Good. Now lay that foot down in any way that's comfortable. How can you get the whole foot down? Find a way that just some little angle that gets the sole of the foot down. Let's lift up the same side arm. And I want you to bend away from that extended leg. Get your arm over your ear if you can. And come back down. Let's do that as a movement. And I'm holding onto the chair. The other arm is holding onto the chair. Let's move through that. It's your timing, how much time you want to spend. Now let's hold that side angle where your arm is right past your ear. You're holding. Now I want you to come into the awareness of your rib cage and lift your rib cage into the space toward the ceiling. You created all this space on that side of your body. I want you to lift your rib cage in that direction, into that space. Beautiful. Let's come up and our arm is just straight up. And I want you to soften so the knee is bent a little bit. Instead of just a real straight leg, soften that extended leg so the knee's bent. And that you feel like you've got a lot of support with the chair underneath you. Let's make a fist, a soft fist with the hand that's up in the air. And we're going to bring that knee to our elbow to do some strengthening of the side abdominal wall. So how far your leg is extending to come back to the floor, that's up to you. What feels right to you? How can you manage it? Now I'm kind of choosing a fairly quick pace. You don't have to though. I want you to find the pace that is doable for you. Let's hold it now. Elbow to knee, hold that. Get your knee up a little bit more. Get your foot up a little bit more. And then we're going to soften and release all of that and bring ourselves to center and scoot over to the other side of the chair. Extend that leg long. Make sure you got enough of you on the chair seat that you feel very supported. Your standing leg is well positioned. Hold the chair any way you want to. Start to move your foot. You want the foot to roll, and there you go. You're into that femur bone. Bring your hand to that. Maybe you can just feel that action in there. You're like, that's kind of, you get curious about it. How's that feeling? That movement of the foot has brought it, all the way up into the bones, into the femur bone where it's rolling through that ball and socket joint. Heel down, toes up. I want you to spread your toes now. Just spread them. Soften those toes and point. So you're just going to go from a flexed foot to a pointed toe, stretching through the top of your foot into the shin. Just stabilize the upper body. Now find a way to keep your foot down, that you can let the whole surface of your foot come down to the ground. Well, any kind of angle. Make sure your knee feels okay with the choice you made. I'm holding onto the chair. I'm going to lift up and bend away from that extended leg. And we're going to kind of come and go with that. How much movement you want. You know, you can use a lot of movement of the arm swinging or a little bit less. Arm is going to come right past your ear. Think of those intercostals. Gives us another opportunity to stretch. Really make sure your foot is grounded. Now we're going to hold now as the arm comes past the ear. And I want you to really find a bend here and then bring your awareness into the rib cage and lift up. Lift up through the rib cage into that space you've created. How you're holding your head, the direction you're turning your gaze. Remember the drishti? This could be a real key player right now. So make sure you're holding your head in a way that is supportive. Ground that foot to the floor. Lift through the intercostals. Let's find our breath. Good. And then when we come out of it, we're going to maybe soften the knee a little bit so it's not quite so extended. Get a good grip of the chair so you can move into those crunches. We're going to have a soft fist, bringing the elbow to the knee now. At a pace that works well for you. Let's crunch and hold. Get your knee up high, get your foot up high. Find your breath. And release. And when we come back to center, find your wider angle. And let's do the movement of the perineum, or I should say the toning, that strengthening that we do for the perineum. And we bring ourselves into that wide angle. I'm going to turn, you don't need to. Just to remind you, bring your elbows into your waistline, bring your body about into a half lift. Tuck your chin in towards your throat so the back of the head, neck, and spine feel aligned. Press your hands into your thighs. Now let's begin. Inhale, feel like you're lifting your pelvic floor up off that chair seat. Exhale, soften and release. Inhale, lift the pelvic floor. Hold it. Exhale and release. Remember that breath we did that had a top and a bottom to it? See if you can do that. Inhale, hold. Exhale, hold. Just work it. Don't stare at the screen. Just work it. Stay with it. I had one of our students, whom you all have practiced with, share with me that when she went to her last gynecology exam, I'll say it nice and slow, the observation was, have you been working with a PT to strengthen your pelvic floor? And she said, no, I just do yoga a couple times a week. And they said, well, we can really see the difference in the strength of your pelvic floor. How's that for a good endorsement? One more of these and come back to your neutral position. Let's use that action we did. We're going to create our goddess hands, but this time there's a fist. Gives you a little more power idea, doesn't it? Fist in the hands. And I want us to come to the same sort of movement of elbow to knee. But I also want you to introduce some twisting in any pattern that works for you. Find your breath. Don't hold it. The twisting action, let's hold that. So get the twisting action where you've got an opposite elbow knee connection. Hold it, lift your knee up higher. Maybe turn your head into a little bit of a drishti. You want to have your ear facing where your elbow is. Let's release that and go to the other side, real high up with the knee and the foot. Turn your head a bit, ear is facing your elbow. Breathe in, breathe out. And let's come back to neutral and release your arms all the way down. We're going to rock and roll to our way to standing. So I want you to just kick up and we'll meet standing up, but grab your block because we're going to put that between our shins, shins in. Hold that. Make sure your feet are straight. Pull in the belly, shoulders are back and down, arms are right alongside your body, and you got your hands facing forward. Let's take a moment now to close our eyes and breathe in and breathe out. Full breath in, followed by a full breath out. Now, if you're like me and you find some interest and curiosity about some awareness to the back body, let's breathe that way. Inhale through this front body, exhale down the length of the back body. And make your keen awareness, your loving awareness, lay into the back body. So it almost feels like the exhale feels like, a warm oil that has just been spread throughout the back body, warming and delighting all the way down. Two more breaths like that. Good, and let's flutter the eyes open. We're going to lose the block, so maybe put that to the side. And we're going to, what was I want to do? I wanted to get ourselves, trying to figure out how you need to see me. Let's get the back of the chair. We're going to stand near the back of the chair. Hip is next to the chair, something we do all the time. So you have the support of your chair is by way of the back of the chair so that you have the ability to move. And we're going to do some stepping. So let's just keep the standing leg, the one that's near the chair, stationary while you step forward and back. So step forward and back. You can use the chair anytime you need to. So you're stepping forward and feeling the bend of the knee. You're looking out and away. You're not looking at your feet. Now we're going to come into the feet. Step out and lift that front heel up. Now keep that heel up and lift the back heel up. So you're on your toes and balls of the feet on both feet. Drop the back heel, drop the front heel, and come back. Just legs together. Let's do that again. Take your step forward and back. Take your step forward, bending the knee and back. We're going to do it again. Stick forward and back. Take the step forward and hold it now. Lift that front heel up. You're on the ball of the foot and toes of the front foot. Steady. And lift the back heel up. So you have both heels up. Now, can you bring your hands away from the chair and even away from your waist? Find your breath. Back heel drops, front heel drops. Keep that bent knee. Raise your arms up, palms facing each other. Pull those arms back. Create a little back bend for yourself. Both feet down, heels and toes down. Front knee is bent. Arms extended past your ears. Breathe in, breathe out. Let's come all the way down with the arms, and then let's just shake the legs out. Shake, shake. Got to reset. And then turn so you've got the other leg near the chair. So you have the standing leg has the stability of the chair like we would like to have. And then we're going to be able to step the other foot. So stepping forward, bending the knee and coming back, forward and back. Look out, don't look at your legs and your feet. Step and hold now. Step into that bent knee. Lift the front heel. Lift the back heel. So both heels are up. You can hold onto the chair if you'd like. You can do whatever you want to. Both heels up, pull the belly in. You're looking out. Drop the back heel. Now drop the front heel and bring your feet back together. And we're going to go back to stepping and back, stepping. Stay with your breathing. Step and hold. Front heel lifts, you're on the ball of the foot and toes. Back heel lifts, you've got both heels up, you're on your toes now. See if you can let go of the chair and let go of your waistline and have your arms extended away from you in some fashion. I've got palms up, elbows bent. Find your breathing. Drop the back heel. Drop the front heel. Keep that front knee just where it is, bent knee. Let's let those arms come up. Palms facing each other. I got the mitten hands on. Pull those arms back for a back bend. Both feet are flat. Find your breath. And all the way down with the arms. Bring your legs back together. Let's shake that out. Position your chair. As soon as you get a chance, position your chair so the seat of your chair is available to you for downward facing dog. You're going to start walking back from the chair. Remember, we want our hands placed the same distance apart as what our feet are. Ideally, your arms are very close to your head. That's going to help stabilize your neck. So your head and neck is very stable, no problems there. And it gives you the permission and the support to stretch through the length of your spine. This time, I want you to feel like the crown of your head is part of this stretch, that you're extending energetically the crown of your head toward the chair seat, and then through the whole length of your spine, through the tailbone, out the back. So you can feel the muscles of the buttocks pulling back, but that you're somehow rooted by extending the crown of the head, that energy extension that's just flowing right to the chair seat as you pull away from that and lengthen your spine. Stay with it and find your breath. Find your beautiful breath through all of that. Do one more thing for me. Pull your belly in. Go right into the belly button area and pull it in towards your spine. And you can hold it there. You can leave it pulled in. See what that does for your posture. Now we're going to start walking toward the chair. Go slow. And come to the chair into, a tabletop position. So you have your hands on the chair and you've got the back body has created like a tabletop. Breathe in and breathe out. Grab hold of your chair seat, take a little wider stance, heels in, toes out. We're going to use the chair for support of some squats. So you're going to let your knees bend and you're going to let your pelvis drop down as low as you're able to do. And we're going to come and go with this. So it's movement. You're squatting and straightening. Squatting and straightening. You don't want to be looking at the screen. Keep your head right there looking at your chair so you don't get all cranked up. Can you meet in your squat? Maybe about the squat that's about as high as the chair seat is. Remember what we did with our soft hands? I want you to see if you can bring some elbows to knees here. side to side. One more on each side. Hands back to the chair, back to downward dog. Start walking back. Arms right, sliding past your ears. Your feet are straight. Pull the belly button in. Hold it there. And lengthen the spine and include the crown of your head all the way back to the tailbone. Full breath in. Full breath out. Start walking toward the chair. Come up one vertebrae at a time. Bend your knees. Round yourself up one vertebrae at a time. Your head's the last to come up. Take a pause. Now I want you to just reset the body. What movement, what anything does your body need before you settle into your Shavasana? Reset your body. Let your body be your Guru Dev, that wise guide within. When you're ready, I'll have you find your way to your seat. Sit way back into the chair so the backrest is easily available to you to rest into it. We get to use that backrest like it was intended to rest. Let's take a cleansing breath here. Take a big breath in through the nose. Exhale it out of your mouth. Do that as often as you need to really find yourself winding down, step by step, winding down and surrendering to the support of the chair. Be sure to check in with the sensation within. At the end of the practice, at the end of the movement, coupled with all the breath work that accompanied that, is this extraordinary experience, undeniable experience, in my view, of prana's flow in the body. So take a peek at that, feel that, know that as you settle into Shavasana. Now, real quick, before you close your eyes for a long extended period of time, I want you to get your hands to your shoulders and squeeze. You're kind of massaging that, so you can squeeze it. You can really get in there and squeeze into that area. Yeah, and then relax, closing your eyes and deepening. And your breath now is going to deepen itself. I was going to say, and deepen your breath, but your breath will deepen. You surrender to that now. Surrender to the deepening that's naturally going to come. I'm reading from, I did a few older practices and I'm using an older book, but one I still continually use, and that is The Promise of a New Day. So as you relax, listen up. It is not the things we accomplish that are important. It is the very act of living that is truly important. We've been invited to participate in this life, to be present one to another, and that's all that's expected of us. Our successes may bring us personal joy, but our value as persons lies only in our being. I want to say that again. Our successes may bring us personal joy, but our value as persons lies only in our being. But living fully is more than just making an appearance here today. It's celebrating our oneness, our ties to one another, our need for one another's presence to complete our own. And we can be a celebrant only when we're involved and fully focused on the experience. We capture life's gifts, its riches, when we are intent on the moment's fullness. We miss what we most need when our hearts and minds are distracted. All that is asked of me is rapt attention here, now, to others, and I'll find the good life. I'm aware of how tempting it can be at times to start to leave the space mentally. And I'm just going to encourage you to use mantra to keep you here and now for the duration of the class time and this meditation time. Inhale the word deep. Exhale the word slow. Keep yourself in tune to the experience of the deep and slow breath. Feel the softness in your shoulders, in your belly, in your legs. Deep and slow. Change the mantra now. Inhale, calm. Exhale, ease. Calm, ease. Keep your eyes closed now. Let your hands, palm to palm, rest at the center of the sternum, what's the heart center of the body. Feel the calm and the ease in your body and in your breath. And let your layered hands there at the heart center give you the assurance that you are loved. You are so dearly loved. And that your love matters. Your love for yourself and for others in your life that you encounter, it matters. Please join me as we wrap this up now. Take a big breath in through the nose. Exhale it out with a sound. The important sound of releases tension in the body. It's that vagal tone that we are capitalizing on. Flutter your eyes open when you're ready. Let's inhale, bringing palms together up and overhead. I want you to look up. Exhale, bow to your own heart, your own precious heart. Inhale, back up. Exhale, let's share this loving energy with our communities. Awesome. And then bring hands together at the heart. We're going to bow to ourselves. We bow to one another. Namaste, my friends. And thank you for joining me.